What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Final Whistle First Down. Nate, Steelers are 2-1.
Yeah.
Bit of a, I don't know how I would describe this game. It was rough for the offense. I think it was a bad showing for the offense and Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers did not look good. The offense did not look good, but the defense finally figured it out. Yeah, I guess that's kind of the focal point of today's video. It's captioned the defense come through, which they did. A lot of forced fumbles, Nate. A lot of forced fumbles. I don't know if that's more of a us thing or a Ramondre Stevenson's like the fumble god for New England. So yeah. What's your biggest takeaway from this game? Obviously, Steelers win 21-14, and they're 2-1. So
Yeah. So you kind of took the words out of my mouth when you said it doesn't really feel like a win.
yeah.
It feels like I see it all the time. Like people are like, we shouldn't be mad because they won. I mean, I'm not mad they won. It just doesn't feel like one of those things I should be we should be content with. A win is a win.
Correct.
This was one of those games that they should have been a blowout. The Patriots turned over the ball 5 times, and Mark Cabali, Steelers writer, tweeted during the game, and I thought this was crazy. During a stretch of those 3 turnovers, the Steelers offense gave them 1 total yard. 1 yard of offense after 3 turnovers. Don't you find that absurd?
Yeah, I mean it's the same new year, different same story. It's Aaron Rodgers, 139 yards, 2 touchdowns, interception, terrible QBR,
and that
decent
pick was
pass
bad.
rating. The very bad.
I don't know who he was throwing.
Very bad. I don't know either. That was the worst thing I've ever seen. I do want to say I still like Jaylen Warren's production. You got to have more than 47 yards and 18 carries though.
Yeah.
He's finally getting like workhorse numbers, which I like to see. But again, I don't know whose fault this is. The offense. I mean, is it a Rodgers thing? He can't find guys open, or is it it's just bad scheming?
So week 1, they were going crazy on offense, scoring a lot of points. Then week 2 against Seattle, we kind of went backwards with some of these play designs, like going to screen passes on 3rd and long, 2nd and long, short passes. Like I want to see Rodgers. Like we saw at week 1, Ben Skoranek found deep, Calvin Austin found deep, DK Metcalf was breaking tackles and getting yards after the catch. And you brought up Jaylen Warren. I don't really want to blame him for this because the Steelers' first 2 drives of the game, we haven't seen this in ages. They scored a touchdown on both drives. The first drive of the game, I'm looking at like the play-by-play here. 15-yard pass to DK Metcalf. Good start. Jaylen Warren, 9-yard run. Almost a first down. Jaylen Warren right after, 11-yard run.
Yeah,
Jaylen Warren right after that, a 6-yard run. Right after that, a 4-yard run, a 3-yard run, and then it started getting bad after that. Jaylen Warren started out really hot, and it seemed like it was going to be a great game for the Steelers running backs or just running back group in a whole. But then he ends up with 18 for 47, averaging 2.6.
Yes.
11 yards is his long. Now, I was thinking about this and listening to other people talk about this. The O-line has, for some reason, like they got really good PFF grades. I'm not one to look at PFF a lot, but there was like a stat someone said it was like 4 of them were in the top players on the entire Steelers, or like partially somewhat of the league based off their offensive line play. Now, I'll commend them for this. They didn't let Aaron Rodgers get sacked because that was a big thing we talked about last week, and I talked about in the previews. Like, you have to protect your QB because we all saw the clip. He was holding his wrist after the Seahawks game.
Yeah.
You could tell he was probably hurting, and he is getting old. He is old. But looking at this, they didn't let him get sacked. I mean, he had to throw the ball away really quick, but the O-line might have did better with preventing a sack to Rodgers, but they didn't really create a lot of holes for Warren to run through. But whenever they did, Warren was running for 11-yard gains, 8-yard gains. If you're running for 5 or more, that's awesome. But I want to see more. It's not more so on Jaylen Warren. It's more so on the offensive line. Like they need to get cooking. Like Zach Frazier, I think played a good game, but like him and Sayamalu, I think were the top 2 guys. But the other guys, like McCormick's been good, but I felt like it was an iffy game. Faltanu's, I know he's basically a rookie. It hasn't been the greatest so far. And then Broderick Jones, I mean, I don't have really many complaints about Broderick Jones this week. I mean, I didn't really notice him. So I guess that's good for him. But what I did like about the rushing game is the less usage of Kenneth Gainwell. I don't know if you noticed that. They only ran him 4 times.
Yeah.
His longest was 13. He had 4 for 16, so a better average than Jaylen Warren. But I think using Gainwell less compared to what we saw these past 2 weeks, I like it because he only had 1 reception. One reception on 1 target. So he only touched the ball 5 times. Your running back 1 should be getting the ball more so than your running back 2. So I did like that. I don't know what your thoughts are on this. What's your overall thoughts? Like, what do you think they need to fix here with his running back? Is it Warren? Is it the O-line? Or is it just play design?
I think it's play design. I think it's they want to have this style of rushing offense, and they're not going to get it. Jaylen Warren is fine. He's capable. I was on the fence with Warren. I've been on the fence with Warren. I think I'm starting to see the light with Jaylen Warren. I think that he is a dependable 1 through 3 down back. He's going to do his job. He can break a run. He's better, I think, than Najee Harris would have been for us this year. Now, listen, obviously, Najee tore his Achilles. You can say whatever you want about him, but Najee couldn't break off a run, right? Najee could get you 4 yards, but he's never going to give you a big play, which limits an offense just so much because you know that, okay, when this guy touches the ball, maybe he gets 4 yards. Jaylen Warren is a beast. He can catch the ball. He expands his offense more than a guy like Najee Harris did last year. Now, this whole Kenneth Gainwell thing that's going on, I don't hate having a second back there, but it should be Caleb Johnson. You drafted him for the reason where you did. Gainwell just shouldn't even, I don't even think he should be a 3 at best, honestly. Jet sweeps, maybe, but why is Gainwell even getting carries? I don't know, right?
Well, we also got to see, not to cut you off, Caleb Johnson looks like did get benched. So that's assuming what happened.
Well, that probably has because of what happened in Seattle.
Yeah.
Now, when I look at Warren, I do think he's a good running back. Do I think that Warren should be our guy, sign him to a long-term contract? No, right? He's fine, but I'm not ready to buy his jersey yet. I'm not ready to say Jaylen Warren's, my guy yet. I need to see more from him. Now, he had a good game last week, and he had a decent game this week. But the running back room, the Steelers have just not had a good running situation since Le'Veon Bell. And I mean, that's obvious, but you haven't had a good anything on offense since the Killer Bees era. You haven't had a good quarterback. You still haven't had a good quarterback. I don't care what you say, what Aaron Rodgers has done. You haven't had a good quarterback since the Killer Bee era. No. You haven't had a good wide receiver core since that era. I mean, you could have this year if you didn't get rid of George Pickens. And you haven't had good running backs. Pat Freiermuth's been solid at tight end. He hasn't broken through yet for me. I think he's still a mid-tier below tight end. But it's you have the talent. It's there. Like Aaron Rodgers has proved that he can still do it. Jaylen Warren's proved that he can be a good running back. DK has obviously proved that he can be one of the best receivers. Like all these guys have proven themselves, but for some reason it just doesn't work together. And that's what Steelers football has been for the last so many years is, okay, well, we have the talent, but why is it not working? Okay, well, let's fire our offensive coordinator this week. I don't think it's an Arthur Smith thing. It's hard to understand what it is because this offense, first of all, 21 points is going to win you a lot of games in the NFL. It is, especially with this defense. Now, when Kenny Pickett was our starting quarterback, if we could have got 21 points, it was the best thing ever, right? So, I still don't take those points for granted because we watched Steelers football where the offense couldn't score a touchdown. And that, so we just need to hit on all sides of the ball. And I mean, going back to the Jaylen Warren thing, which you asked me, I know I got kind of sidetracked here.
Oh, I was like, what did you think? You answered the question. You said it's more of a scheme thing. Why it seems like this running game isn't really working that well. Because I brought up either the O line, is it the scheme, or is it just the player?
The O line sucks. The O line sucks. Broderick Jones, like, and Fanado, like
Troy Faltanu.
Yeah, Faltanu, whatever. They stink. They're just not good at their jobs.
See, Faltanu, I can give a pass because this is basically a rookie year.
I guess.
It's only his third NFL game.
I guess.
But Broderick Jones, though, I think this is year 3, if I'm not mistaken.
Broderick Jones needs to be sent to the moon, Nate.
This is a big year for Broderick because I know if he wants paid, he has to be good.
Getting paid.
But you did bring up Pat Freiermuth. Before we go to the defense, which is actually semi-positive for once this week, I want to ask you this about the tight end room. Jonnu Smith, 3 receptions, 23 yards on 3 targets, so 3 for 3. Pat Freiermuth, 1 reception on 3 targets, only 6 yards. Do you think there might be some like favor of Rodgers towards a Jonnu Smith? And I know Arthur Smith loves Jonnu Smith.
No.
I know, but like, is this a thing like trying to get used to Pat Freiermuth? Because he's hitting Jonnu Smith on some deep balls. He had a 21-yard long for him against the Patriots. So like, I know he had the opportunity at Freiermuth in the last week's game, but he was right through Freiermuth's hands and the deep ball. But I feel like I agree. I kind of want to see a lot more from Pat Freiermuth. We've seen like the Swiss Army knife of Jonnu Smith, and I've liked that addition. And he's been feeling like that third wide receiver, honestly, because they've been using him a lot more than your per se, I don't know, Scotty Miller, Ben Skoranek. We haven't seen them or Ben Skoranek since week 1. But like, what's your take on this Freiermuth, Jonnu Smith thing? Like, do you want to see one more than the other? Or is it just like give them both the same amount? See what happens?
I think the Jonnu Smith thing is more of an Arthur Smith thing than a talent wise for Pat Freiermuth. But to say that if you were to look at me last year and say Jonnu Smith's a better tight end than Pat Freiermuth, I would agree with you. He had a monster year last year in Miami. So, like, I'll take that over Pat Freiermuth all day. All day. Now, it's cool I get to say Muth and stuff, but, I mean, if we could have what Jonnu Smith gave us in Miami, I will take that over Pat Freiermuth all day. I mean, Pat Freiermuth has one route, Nate, and it's a seam. He runs a seam, runs up the seam. He has one route. It's a little out curl. Like he's not a tight, like Muth is good. I like Muth, but like when you think of the best tight ends, like those guys, they got route trees. Muth, I don't think he has a deep route tree. Jonnu Smith does. And it's not ridiculous to say that Jonnu Smith is better than Pat Freiermuth. It's not at all.
We haven't sadly seen like the Sam Laporta breakout for a Pat Freiermuth or one of those George Kittle, Travis Kelce type of years that a lot of people want to see out of Pat Freiermuth. We kind of saw a little bit of a breakout last year for Jonnu Smith because of injuries. He got a lot of opportunities, and he excelled in those opportunities for the Miami Dolphins. I bet he's really happy to be here anyway. But yeah, that's my kind of takeaway on that. One final thing before we get to the defense. I just wanted to give props to Calvin Austin. This dude is playing like he is the wide receiver too. He had a big touchdown at the end of the game. Nice ball from Aaron Rodgers in the final few minutes. He went 3 of 34 on 5 targets, long of 17, average 11.3 a catch, and of course had the game-winning touchdown. What do you think about Calvin Austin, what he's done so far? I think this is now 2 touchdowns already in these first 3 games.
I think he's been the best player on offense for the Steelers so far this year. And he's proven to be a good receiver. I've been waiting for this Calvin Austin to break out. He's not a wide receiver 1. Sorry, he's not.
No, I agree.
But if DK Metcalf can like not figure it out, because I think he has figured it out, obviously in the NFL. Once DK kind of breaks through on the Steelers offense and is like a clear wide receiver 1, Calvin Austin's going to get he's going to be way better. And then that still brings up the question, Nate, where is Roman Wilson?
I think he had a snap this week, maybe 2. I got to see his only NFL catch last week in Pittsburgh. That was awesome.
I guess I'm going to bring it up every week. I don't get it. Is this guy real? I still don't think he's real.
See, I brought it up earlier in the couple minutes ago. Ever since week 1, we haven't seen Skoranek. We haven't seen Scotty Miller yet, like, which is really funny to me. But like Ben Skoranek had a touchdown week 1 on a great design play against the New York Jets. It's like, I think it was the first touchdown of the year for the Steelers. Where has he been? He's just been special teams only. So the Steelers have been rocking with Calvin Austin, DK Metcalf, and their leading receiver right now, Danny, can you take a guess who it is?
Receiver?
Yeah.
Jaylen Warren?
Yeah. It's Jaylen Warren.
Yeah.
I feel like that kind of is worrisome. If Jaylen Warren is your team leading wide receiver as your running back. So he's been this hybrid receiving back for them. Now, Warren in this game tied Calvin Austin for 34 yards, 5 and 6 targets, no touchdowns, but he has longest as 15, 6.8 a catch. Could you argue he's been a little more explosive catching the ball? Because we saw his explosiveness rushing the ball the first couple of drives, but then the offensive line wasn't able to get him figured out. Well, help him figure it out. But then we see him making these catches and getting some good gains. So, like, I don't know. Before we move on defense, what's your thoughts on that?
I don't know. I don't really have a thought particularly. It's
that's fair.
Yeah.
Well, let's get to the positives. The defense. Now, there is one negative on the defense. I'll save till the end. But let's get through the positives now. There's a reason why I put him on the thumbnail. Cam Hayward is my MVP this game. He played like he earned that $3 million feed his family money. In my opinion, he basically saved 2 touchdowns. I've heard the takes that this was probably Cam. What it maybe is up there for Cam's best game as a Pittsburgh Steeler by himself. He forced an interception, tipped the ball from Drake May in the end zone. He also forced a fumble on the 2-yard line as well. So both plays were from the 1 or 2 yard line where the Patriots could have scored 2 touchdowns. Took those away. And then he also had 1 sack where he shared it with Derek Harmon. So Derek Harmon officially does have his first career sack, had 2 halves. So I thought Cam Hayward, TJ Watt had a great game, but like Cam Hayward's my MVP this game. I don't know. What do you think what you saw from Cam this week?
Cam had a great game. I mean, it happens once a game where Cam Hayward bats a ball down. Like you don't see that
last week as well.
It's Nate. It's literally every game he does it. He's like the best ever at it. Batting balls down at the line of scrimmage. Cam Hayward seems to do it every time in a clutch situation. I still disagree with paying Cam Hayward though. I still think that it's a greedy move from Cam Hayward to sign an extension last year and then want more money this year. I don't care. I don't care if he goes out and lights it up this year, then ask for it next year, right? After you've done that. Like, I still don't agree with that. So like Cam will always rub me the wrong way after that, even though I know he's a tremendous guy. Besides Cam, right? Like the D line looks great. They looked great.
Harmon, big game.
Yeah.
Rookie
Derek
debut
Harmon,
too.
I loved what I saw from Harmon. Trent Jordan he's back. I was ready to say Myles Garrett was better. I was there. If you watched the other show, I was
you were there.
And I was there. I was literally right there. I was like, if TJ stinks it up again and doesn't give me a sack, he gave me 2. So TJ, you're still my GOAT. You're still my depoy legend. You're still the best ever. I love you. But I was there, Nate, and now I'm not there. But Myles Garrett did have another monster game, so I don't know. I still might. I'm still not
TJ
there.
With 2 sacks, 2 QB hits. We were begging for a sack from TJ, and we got 2. So
okay. I'm trying to think who else I could talk about on this defense.
Jabril Peppers made his basically defensive debut.
I literally didn't notice him at all.
He had recovered a fumble.
Oh, that was him.
It was his revenge game.
Oh,
I thought he looked pretty good.
Yeah. Slay had a big play. Slay.
Yeah, he dropped a pick, but then made up for it.
Made up for it.
Chuck Clark also dropped a pick, but also
that was
made
bad.
Up for it.
That was a bad drop.
I'll ask you this question. I was thinking about this during the game. This defense I desperately want Deshaun Elliott back, or Jabril Peppers takes Chuck Clark's spot when Deshaun Elliott comes back, so we can please see Jalen Ramsey at the corner position. I was thinking about this during the game. I didn't recognize if Jalen Ramsey was in the game or not because he's not as effective when he's playing safety. They're never going to throw to him. Did you notice like you were never seeing Jalen Ramsey on your TV?
Oh yeah, he was not targeted at all. I don't think. I think
he had one total tackle.
Yeah, he had
like
one
he
tackle.
never was in the play. Like he wasn't effective.
Yeah,
they never attacked him.
That's fine. Look at the receiving yards. Stephon Diggs had 3 catches for 23 yards. Right?
Yeah.
A wide receiver did not have more than 30 yards on this Pittsburgh Steelers offense. Hunter Henry had 90.
That's where we get to the negatives.
That's a tight end. The linebackers. Yeah. Ramondre Stevenson, 3 for 38. Again, that's a linebacker issue. Austin Hooper, 2 for 28.
Stevenson also had the 2 fumbles.
Yeah. And then Kayshon Boutte had 2 for 28. I mean, I think our defense played great, not letting receivers, but the linebackers have been a problem.
Yeah, let's talk about that. I know Patrick Queen tweeted something really funny. Is like, I don't think Patrick Queen actually played horrendous this game. I think he's been pretty solid. It's been the other guys. Patrick Queen this game, I thought played really well. 10 total tackles, 6 solos, 1 tackle for loss, 2 pass deflections. I think Patrick Queen had a great game. I know he's been getting a lot of slack because he's the one kind of communicating the plays. He's wearing the green dot. I think he had a good game. I think it could be better. But besides that, Peyton Wilson's still iffy with me. I want to see him exceed. Cole Holcomb, his first year back since that bad injury. He's been kind of iffy with me as well. He's looked a little bit better than Peyton Wilson, in my honest opinion. But the Steelers desperately need to figure out this middle of the field. Last week, it was Cooper Kupp torching them. And this week, it's for some reason, Hunter Henry, every time he plays the Steelers, has so much success. 8 for 90 on 11 targets, averaged 11.3 a catch and 2 touchdowns, long of 18. Hunter Henry was probably a beast on one person's fantasy team in this world. Someone in a 16-person league has Hunter Henry on their bench because they had to have him. And he probably just gave him like 20-plus points. So if you have a bad tight end on your fantasy team and they're playing the Steelers, start him this week. Because if you're the Vikings, per se, whoever your backup tight end is, I'll probably cover this on the preview later this week, attack the middle of the field. Because if Patrick Queen, I hope not, if he ever goes down, Danny, this middle of the field is going to be cooked. You're going to have to try to convert TJ Watt into a middle linebacker or Jalen Ramsey into a middle linebacker at that point. Because they need to figure that out. And that's kind of been
a lot out.
That's something that they've, for some reason, had a lot of issues with these last few years. The middle of the field. And that's why they brought in Patrick Queen, struggled in the first half of last year, became better. And then this year, he's looked okay, but the guys below him have not. And Peyton Wilson's still a big reason that this middle linebacker core isn't that good because they have really high hopes for Peyton Wilson. I think a lot of fans do as well. And Peyton Wilson hasn't really lived up to the hype that he had. So what do you think about this middle linebacker, this overall linebacker group, and why this is even happening?
Patrick Queen was supposed to be, we got him, we were supposed to win a Super Bowl. Like he was supposed to be like the next coming of whatever. And I still don't think he's lived up to the hype yet. Right.
Not the contract. I agree.
Not the contract at all. And people are saying that's because, you're behind Roquan Smith. Maybe that's why. And I don't think that's ridiculous. He's still a good linebacker for us, but you need something else. I watched this game and Robert Spillane.
Oh my gosh, he destroyed him.
He had a monster game. And I thought to myself, man, I miss Robert Spillane. So like a guy like Robert Spillane's not going to break our bank. So like, let's go get Robert Spillane.
I wish they didn't get rid of Landon Roberts. He was really good last year, but he went to the Raiders.
He was a beast, yeah.
Spillane, 15 total tackles, 10 solo, 1 tackle for loss, 1 pass deflection.
Mm-hmm.
What the heck?
Yeah, I don't. He was all over the place.
And you know what? Good on him because he seemed to, like, ever since he left the Steelers, he was pretty solid. I remember the Spillane play where he blocked Derrick Henry. Oh. He stuffed him. Electric. Ever since he's left the Steelers, he's been one of the best defensive players all around in football. He's been getting a lot of hype.
Wow.
Like, he's put up some good numbers. And he's one of those non-star players on a bad team that has been really good and just doesn't get a lot of credit.
Yeah,
because
he's decent on the Raiders.
Yeah, like now he's on the Patriots. He's not going to get a lot of credit, but he's basically what I would say one of the best defensive players on their team.
Sure.
Out of both teams, he would be a great addition, like you said.
I would love to have him back, but we can't. But the linebacker core needs to get fixed. Now, the defensive scheme, I thought we played well. I thought we played to New England well. I don't understand how on like fourth downs though, like
oh my gosh,
like our third and short is like free. If it's like 3rd and 3, 4th and 3, like might as well just give him the first down, because every run to the outside, it felt like I was like, oh, like does TJ Watt not understand that like he can tackle Drake May? Like Drake May would be running this, like would be running to the outside. Here comes, I don't know if like you can see this. And TJ, instead of just like cutting him off, would just like be like, I'm gonna try and meet him here and let him like TJ kill him.
It happened in the Jets game too.
Murder this. Exactly. Like
it's become a whole, like, it looks like they're committing to the running back because the way this defense has looked all year
has been terrible.
Yeah. And let me talk about the fourth down really quick. This is the most negative thing this game, in my opinion. Besides, and very quickly, the time of possession desperately needs fixed. The Steelers offense had the ball 26 minutes, 40 seconds. Patriots had the ball 33 minutes, 20 seconds. They're getting beaten at about every week. Fourth down efficiency. Steelers, 0 for 0. They had a situation to let Boswell kick a field goal. Tomlin said no, we're punting. Boswell looked kind of pissed. That's another story. Mike Vrabel, the Patriots, was giving a masterclass, in my opinion, of not living in your fears. An age-old Tomlin quote I have. 4 for 5. The only time they missed on fourth down was, of course, the final play of the game where the receiver turned into Deontay Johnson and ran backwards. I know you've probably seen that many times already. They went it for it on their own fourth down and their own side of the field, backed up into their end zone and got it. That is a pure coaching masterclass by Mike Vrabel.
I can't believe that. I was so shocked.
Crazy. Like that's one of my, I'm not going to turn this into a Mike Tomlin rant, I promise. But that's the whole not living in your fears I want to see out of Coach Tomlin. And Mike Vrabel went out and did that all game. And whenever it finally mattered the most, the offense just couldn't get it done. Whenever they was forced to be done, but like they just couldn't do it because their receiver turned into Deontay Johnson. But you can't allow an offense like the Patriots and Drake May. And I will say, besides the interception, Drake May had a really good football game. He looked like he is going to be a very solid quarterback. I know I'm high on Drake May. I don't know what your feeling about Drake May is, but like I think he's going to be pretty solid in the NFL. I think he's a good fit with the Patriots. But they were 4 for 4 at a time on third down. This game could have easily been a loss for the Steelers based off their offense doing absolute 5 turnovers, and they only won by 7.
Exactly. You have 5 turnovers. You need to win by 5 scores.
Danny,
every turnover.
There's a world where the Steelers could easily be 0-3.
And
think about it. If Boswell misses the 60, I think it was a 60 or 62-yard field goal, the Jets win.
Yep.
They lost last week pretty fairly. This week, if Cam Hayward doesn't force an interception and a fumble at the 2-yard line, they're 0-3.
I mean, we had so many turnovers in our own territory. Like
the Steelers could easily be. That's why I'm not like happy. I'm happy we won, but it's one of those games where it's like, oh my gosh, they are actually really lucky they won that game.
That's every Steelers game, Nate.
And I wish it didn't. I hope there's a game this year where they can be good on both offense and defense. Everything can look good. I would feel so much happier if the offense went out after one of those turnovers and made it a 2-score game. If they won this game 28-14, I would feel so much better. This game feels like it should have been a blowout. Ramondre Stevenson gave them two opportunities to do that. Drake May threw a pick in the end zone. Like everyone was fumbling the ball. But yeah, they won. I guess we can't be mad at it, but it's a frustrating win to put it into perspective.
A lot of Steelers wins are frustrating wins. I don't know. When's the last time we've had a win that you were just like, that was so awesome?
Like, I think the Raiders game last year.
Yeah.
When they went to Vegas. I forget what the score was, but they were destroying them.
Let me see. I don't remember a time where I've been like, that was just a clean Steelers win. It just doesn't happen.
Now We'll talk about this definitely in a few weeks. I'm more nervous about that Colts game in a few weeks.
Yeah.
How about Daniel Jones? He's having a Sam Darnold-esque resurgence right now for the Colts. True. But yeah, I think it's the Raiders game last year.
I would say,
like, I was never nervous after they took the lead. Like, this was a game and it's funny that, Danny, the Steelers never lost the lead in this game.
No, I mean,
it was only a tie. Yeah, so
you're right. That's the last time we've had like a kind of a blowout.
What was the final score of that game?
23. This is Kenny. Oh God.
What was the final score of that Raiders game? I forget.
32-13.
Yeah, that was a good game. That was Justin Fields too.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, let's go 20. I'm gonna go back to like 2017. Yeah, there's definitely games in there. Yeah, 30-9. Like, cool.
Wasn't there one against the Panthers where they destroyed them?
Yeah, like that was the last time. But like, this is just we're just beating down a team.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So, hey, I know I brought up Fields. Speaking of former QBC, Russell Wilson got benched.
Russie's done.
Hey, in our final whistle, we'll be recording that sometime later this week, but it's like, we'll talk about it then. But I did bring up the over-under of, I think, 8.5, 9.5 weeks. That was the way under to that bench. I thought we were going over.
Did you? I thought about this a little bit. This is kind of off topic, but Russ and Fields are both gone from the Steelers, right? If Kenny Pickett didn't requested a trade, like, he would be our starting quarterback right now.
I don't know.
I don't think we would have went and got Rodgers if we.
I think they still would have. I don't think Tomlin liked Pickett. You could tell. You could tell.
Oh, all right.
Or Rudolph would still be the starter over Pickett.
No, Kenny best ever.
But yeah,
yeah. Are you
planning on doing the preview with me this week, or is it just me again this week?
I'll try. I've just been swamped with school stuff.
Okay, all good. If we record, we'll have the preview out no matter what.
Yeah.
If you're not in or whatever, we'll see. It'll either be up Thursday or Friday. Yeah. Thanks you all for the views on that. It did pretty good.
Yep. Thank you all for tuning in today.
Yeah, that was a fun one.
That'll be it for today's episode. Yeah, go Steelers. See you guys next time.
See y'all later. Oh no, Danny didn't stop the stream. Okay, so we're still gonna chat here because I can't end the stream. There you go, Danny.
All right, we'll see you guys next.
See y'all later.
Yeah.